Whoa, primer. You can choose which character you wish to control during battle and exploration. While exploring, press Y to open the main menu and select Change Leader to switch characters. During battle, you can also select the Change Leader option in the battle menu. If the current battle leader is KO'd, the remaining character will automatically become the new battle leader. Once the battle ends, control will return to the character originally set as leader, which is actually, this is a really helpful mechanism in the game. I'll explain that later once we get to it. Oh, we got these 3 types of gates exist in the world. The ones that shine like the sun have been blessed by the goddess and require special artifacts. The crystal gates require wild artifacts that can be obtained in many locations and times. However, the artifacts are consumed with each use. We'll get into that later. And the scorch gates are the ones most recently used by Sarah and Noel to travel to that location. Approach them and press A to return the Historia Crux. Sounds good to me. Whew, that was a mouthful, and since we've had ourselves a mouthful here... Oh, what is that over there? It's kind of cool. Whoa, Mog is freaking out here. What can I do? Do we even... Oh, darn it, we don't have that yet, do we? But anyways, it was talking about all these different gates and stuff, and it's really important actually now. Oh, there's a treasure. Let me see if I can grab that right away. What are you giving us here? What are you offering to the table? A black belt? That sounds like a certain sort of accessory. It is. Let's go put it on, or at least see what it does. Oh, we don't want that. We want equipment. What does the black belt do? What does it do? Physical resistance to physical, 15%. That might be actually something good we want on Noel, considering he's gonna be our commando. I don't really need his HP. Oh, what is this? Plus 10% strength. I'm gonna keep that on him right now. And as you can see here, we have this Crystarium thing I never really went over, and I kind of want to go over that now. I apologize. I know it's taking a lot of time just orienting you to all these different gameplay mechanics, but the Crystarium is really important. And the reason why I waited this long is because I was waiting for enough Crystarium points to start explaining about it and to go up an actual stage with you guys. I've actually planned all this out. I'm following the collector's guide that I showed in one of my bonus content videos. And I'm going to show you guys how we're going to level these guys up as we go through these separate stages, which is... We'll get into that later. Anyways, we have this Crystarium here, and you have these 2 characters. You can see that their weapons change with the Crystarium, which is a lot different from Final Fantasy XIII. So we're going to go into Sarah's here really quick. And basically how this works is you use your Crystarium points, CP, to unlock these little nodes, these crystal nodes, and to keep going in the roll. And what that'll do, as you can see, we can advance through here. We've already gotten Ruin here, as you can see. And it'll let you advance through the rolls, and it will allow you to learn more skills, get you more passive abilities, and it will end up giving you boosts and other things of that nature. So as you can see here, for Sarah's Ravager roll, we're going to put this up 9 different nodes, and I will explain this in depth a lot later. Why I'm doing certain nodes and specific nodes a certain amount of times, but we're going to do this 9 times. So as you can see, it has all of our different rolls and all the level rolls. And the reason why we're going to do the Ravager 8 times, because we want to get her Ravager to level 9, so technically 7 times, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, we have to do this a certain way or else things kind of get ridiculous later in the game, so I'm going to put her Ravager up to level 9 right now. As you can see, every time you increase a level, you get different power-ups and items, and as you can see, you get different abilities and other things of that nature. The +2 is the magic boost, the red, and the green is your HP boost, so that goes up as well. And we're going to do this how many more times? We get Spark Strike. We're going to put it up to level 9 one more time, and there we go, perfect. So we're going to switch to Commando now. We're going to bring her Commando up to level 10. So we're going to do this a little bit more quickly, as you can see. We're just going to skip through that. Blitz. You got some really good stuff. Power Chain. I'm going to go over the passive abilities after I level this up one more time. Perfect. Okay. So now we can look at her passive abilities. Okay, that's good. I didn't want to do that. I didn't do that. Okay, that's good. So we have all of her passive abilities and stuff like that. And if you go to the status for the level, you can see what abilities she has, and for the Commando, her important ability besides Power Chain, which is basically when your chain gauge is empty, it will put attack or ruin at the head of your queue before your skills. and there's all these different types of attacks. These Flame Strike, Spark Strikes are Ravager attacks, as you can see based on the little symbol next to them. And those are basically melee magic attacks. And Power Chain is just a passive ability, as you can see. It's not really specific to what it is, it's just what you're using. And that's her passive ability right now. And we're going to actually put her Sentinel up to level 3, and I'll show you what happens when you advance a Crystarium stage. So we're going to do that right now. As you can see, something's going to happen after I press A right now. Things will get expanded. That was perfect timing, actually, by the way. And what you can do is select all these different power-ups and all these very, very different things, anywhere from unlocking a new role to increasing your ATB gauge, your accessory capacity, level boost to the rolls. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase her ATP gauge, B gauge by 1, which will give her 1 extra attack slot in her little ATP gauge. That was the blue thing that fills up. And I want to select that bonus because it's going to be extremely important in the future. So there we go, we increased our ATB gauge, and now we're going to switch to Mr. Null here. And we're going to do something similar with his level makeup. We're just going to switch a few things. We're going to bring his Commando to level 9, his Ravager level 10, and his Sentinel to level 3, as you can see. We're going to learn Metagard with it, which is, I'll get into the Sentinel skills later. We're going to do this a little bit more quicker. I'm just going to put this to Ravager level 10 here. And I'll also explain the difference between the big nodes and the little nodes, because there's actually a reason for that as well. I'm going to make that one more level, perfect. And I will finish off by expanding the Crystarium by increasing his Commando to level 9. And like I said, I planned all this out, so I know what's going to happen, and the skills are like this for a certain reason. So there we go. And I also want to increase his ATB gauge by 1, so there we go. We've completed the first Crystarium level, which now gives us a boost in magic and strength and HP for all of them. As you can see, everything's a little bit different from last time, and everything besides the accessory gauge, but you can increase that as a level bonus, as you saw, as a Crystarium expansion bonus. But we're going to get into all that later. Like I said, I keep like hinting at stuff we're going to get at later, but it's going to be really important to have these guys at these certain levels at different times in the game. And here's another person that we're going to explore a little bit later. But right now I just want to do a little bit of treasure hunting, because that's just so much fun. And we get some good stuff there. We got 350 gil, which is their type of currency. And we just kind of want to orient ourselves here. This is the Bresha Ruins. This is a very serious area. It's kind of cool because there's all these different things you can do. There's a lot of stuff you can do just right away by talking to people. You find out a lot of information and such like that, but the one thing, if you remember from my Final Fantasy XIII Let's Play, is how much I love treasure. And boy, is there plenty of treasure on this map. As you can see, there's one on that side, there's one over there. There's actually one floating in the Atlas hand over there, which we can't get. And there's some invisible ones which we've seen, but we can't even fathom getting them now, so we'll figure it out later. But what's this? This is a different little box. I guess it means that there's something significant in there, and it's probably best that we actually take that. A Leaving Gate seal. I'll explain about those a little bit later, but we have it now, and that's pretty important, so that's a good thing. There's also many different permutations of different levels in this game because of the whole time travel element, which we'll explore a lot later when you see that we're going to be in the Historic Crux, and all of a sudden we're going to have another Bresha Ruins, but it's going to be completely different than what you see in front of you here, which is what makes it, I think, such an interesting dimension to the game that a lot of people, I think, forsake in their sort of opinions of the Final Fantasy XIII-2 game. So we're just going to continue on here. We have our communicator now, so we can continue going through with the Bresha Ruins. We don't really need to talk to Alyssa right now, and by the way, her name for me is ridiculously hard to remember, and I have no idea why. But like I said, we need to get through here, and we're going to talk to this guy right here, because he's the only thing holding us back.
Your ID checks out. Be careful in there.
Thanks, man. Thanks for letting us go through. I really appreciate it. But here we are. We're deep in the Bresha Ruins, and by deep I mean we just barely scratched the surface. There's no treasure here, which is an interesting trick that you would think you would see. But here we are. We have treasure right there. We got 2 potions. And one thing I do want to mention here as well, you might notice this area because this is the exact same area that you were allowed to play around in the demo and the demonstration for Final Fantasy. And whoa, a forced monster battle. How crazy is this? let's kill these guys. We have two new enemies here, the Zwerg-Scandroid, which you will see a lot more of later, and also we have the Kaith here, and we're actually going to focus our attacks on the XIII right here. This is the monk, as you can see. I say the monk because I'm an MMO person, I guess. But what this guy does is he continually heals, so if you want good battle scores, you're going to want to go for him first. You want to take him out first. So we're going to also take out the Zwerg guy. He's not that hard, but we're going to learn an interesting gameplay mechanism just for this battle in general, and it's going to be pretty cool, so you're going to see that right about now. And what is that? Floating crystal. We got 3 stars, but we got something out of it, and as you can see there, we got 2 things, 2 crystals, the XIII crystal and the Zwerg-Scandroid crystal. We also got this potent droplet. We'll get into that later as well. We got a paradigm pack. I guess we're going to get a primer about that really soon as well.
What? The monster turned into crystal.
Servant of time, daughter of chaos, unto the world unseen, the untamed you guide.
What do you know? It talks.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Guide the untamed?
Your power over monsters, Kupo.
Over monsters?
Now that you mention it, Lightning had monsters fighting with her in battle.
You can do the same, Kupo.
Okay. This power, can you show me how it works? I want to learn how to protect myself. Might as well start now.
Kupo?
So we got this whole crystal thing, monster crystals. New function have been added to party paradigms in the Crystarium. You can now access monsters in the main menu. Select paradigm pack within party paradigms and choose monsters to add into your paradigms. Monsters can also be developed in the Crystarium. Press Y and select monsters to customize your monstrous allies. And there's a page 2. If you're not sure how to use these options, detailed information can be found in the battle primers. Fine. And we'll skip that because I will explain it myself. So anyways, we're kind of just thrown into all this, and now we have this paradigm pack, and I'm going to show you what to do with that. We have all these different monsters here. As you can see, we have a medic role, XIII, and we have a ravager role, Zwerg-Scandroid. Now these different skills. It's very interesting, and you can add adornments to them. As you can see, you get these from doing live triggers and just stuff you get from items in general. You can buy them as well. I'm gonna give this guy the silver gear here, and you can also name them and infuse them. I'll talk about that later. But we're gonna select a random name here. We're gonna call him Severus because I don't know, it just reminded me of Harry Potter, obviously. And we're gonna give this guy the Lebreau olive tattoo that goes right on his back, I believe. As you can see, very cool stuff here. All the customizable things. And let's give him, what are the recommended names? We're gonna call him Boo just because I like that name a lot, and I think it's cute. But we can access these party paradigms here, and what you can do is you can select slots for these monsters to be held in, and now you have access to them in possible paradigms here. As you can see, our battle team was changed, and now we can customize obviously what monsters we use here and what roles they have in our little paradigms here. So I'm going to throw Boo here. I'm going to throw Boo here. I'm also going to keep him the Severus there. That looks good to me. This looks very strong. Actually, I'm going to switch this to Sentinel, Commando, Ravager. Perfect. I'm going to keep it exactly as is. That's awesome. So now we have our paradigms updated as well. And you can also, as you heard them say, make these guys better or worse in the Crystarium. And what uses these droplets that you saw us have. So I'm gonna use the potent droplet on our XIII because he's kind of low HP right now, and monsters will really take advantage of them if you do not, well, especially your medic, they will kill him pretty quickly. So we're gonna continue on here, and we're gonna see something very interesting once we get to the top of this hill. And all of a sudden it's just like, BAM! Hand through the wall. That's really weird and not cool. Let's talk to Noel about it.
What just happened?
Looks like we're getting overlap from another reality. Atlas has disappeared into another world